I'm Trish with today's QOTD question of the day. Record your answer to join us on the show. Today's question is for you TikTokers and Insta queens. Is social media a burden or a benefit to society? Our theme this week is It's Good to Be Young. So we're asking the experts, our fans, about the good, the bad, and the sometimes ugly side of social media. So here's our first fan, friend, and follower, Alexis.
Until a few years ago, I think I would have said benefit. Starting a couple of years ago now and looking into the future, I definitely lean more burden, especially for the younger generation, just with all the hate language and bullying and just cyber cruelness that is out there now. I am so glad that I only grew up with like MySpace top 8 worries and disposable cameras, because that was embarrassing enough.
The top 8 had some drama, maybe not necessarily, cyberbullying level, but if you move somebody from number 4 to number 5 that week, like, you were gonna have to explain yourself, and that's kind of that might even be more scary.
I didn't grow up with MySpace, but I did grow up with disposable cameras. But when she said something about cyber cruelty, that is just, it's so foreign to me. I don't understand it. I don't know why people behave the way that they do.
Teenage girls were not sweet.
We've seen Mean Girls, right?
First of all, people can get a lot more creative with their insults and their meanness, which sometimes it can make for entertaining drama, but can also be very intense. But now you have like the doxing, which can be very scary for people.
And I recognize that people were like really mean anonymously, but I mean, like back in the day, people were really mean in person, and it would like end up with like people getting shoved to the ground and kicked, and it was like stuff stolen. It was bad then too. People were just bad. I'm just gonna leave it at that. People were bad then, they're bad now. It's just bad.
Yeah. Well, JJ, did you have any favorite fan answers?
I did. So I found an answer from London, and I think she kind of has a good balance between the benefit and the burden sides.
For the good that comes out of it would be people who aren't able to go out and get jobs. They're able to work on social media and make money, spread awareness. There's a lot to learn from social media. And I think all of that can be the beautiful side of it. But the burden of it would be there's a lot of research coming out that, especially for younger generations, it can be very dangerous to our mental health.
And definitely spread awareness. I know a lot of social movements nowadays use social media a lot. But then she also brings up the negatives, and I have to think of the iPad kids. Very young kids, you might see at like a restaurant that have an iPad in front of them, and they sort of need the iPad to stay focused.
What was once like a stuffed animal Beanie Baby to play with is now Paw Patrol and pretty much anything else you could think of.
But people are always trying to distract their kids, as we'll find out from Anthony.
Overall, I really think that social media is more so of a burden, just because it's, people putting their highlight reels, the best or most glamorous aspects of their life. That's not what it typically looks like daily. Everybody's posting, you're like, oh, their life is probably so great, when in reality, that's not how it typically is.
The emotional reaction that we have to these things is because we're just getting used to it.
Instagram was just getting started. JJ and I were 10, 11, 12. I just thought everyone was so much cooler and happier than I was.
Over time, we'll all come to understand and internalize the fact that there's this false life that we lead online.
Did you guys see that one woman on social media? She got busted because she posted all of her engagement photos from Italy. They were in front of an Olive Garden restaurant.
Reed, what do you see out there that really makes you want to go and press like a bunch of times?
I think one that I would add to my TikTok favorites is a video from Jeremy.
I think for one thing it's done to society is probably ruin our attention span. I mean, I remember being able to watch like 4-hour movies, and now it's just doom scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything. The attention span is the big thing.
Now it's like an infinite amount of 15-second videos are available at your disposal. And sometimes people won't even watch a whole video in its entirety. There'll be like a top screen is the video and the bottom screen is somebody playing Subway Surfers.
What, you guys talking? What? Like, you ever see these letters that people would write in the 19th century? These long, well thought out, like beautifully crafted letters that they would write to all their friends like nonstop. How do they possibly have the attention span to do that?
I'm scrolling down my feed. I see one thing about like a human rights violation somewhere, and then the next one is like, isn't this cat so funny? You can get the whole gamut of the human experience in one TikTok scroll.
Everybody should go out today and just lay on the grass and look at the clouds and like time yourself. How long can you do that before you can't possibly sit there for another second longer?
But fans, if you have your own thoughts, you can record your answer using the links in the description below. Make sure you record before our Thursday Big Show Weekly Championship. We've talked a lot about this question, but what are your experiences with social media so far?
Trish and I sort of are part of this post-boomer Gen X kind of thing, and you guys are, I don't know what you are now. You're ZZ, ZA. We still have friendships that are like in-person friendships, and that I would never connect with them on social media. The only reason I go on social media is just because I want to find out what my kids are up to. You couldn't conceive of a relationship unless you guys were also, finsting or rinsting or something like that, right?
I talk about my daughters a lot, and I would say, what do you mean you met some guy online? Like, you're talking to somebody, you have no idea. He says, he's this and that and the other thing, but you really have no idea. And she'll look at me and say, I can't believe you walk into a bar and just give some guy your number.
I was going to say, I think that might just be part of being a woman. You never know who you're giving your number to. Might be a serial killer.
Talking about TikTok, or we're talking about things which are more intimate, like, I'll say Facebook, right? Where we know everybody who's there, or Insta. These are the ways that we talk to one another without having to talk formally with them. And I think that it's binding together this generation in a way which is more tight than we were able to experience, because the information flows much faster. It's just gossip. It's just moving more quickly into a broader group, and it's magnifying our messages to more and more people.
I know that there's a lot of stories that I would first hear about on Twitter and on Instagram before they even made it to big news channels. And I guess that's kind of what you're talking about with gossip. Communities of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. You also have huge communities that can share so many amazing things in a gossip sort of way. Like, oh my gosh, have you seen this incredible clip of this? Or oh, I saw this short film. I'm on Film Talk, so I'm oh, you must watch the short film. So I guess that's probably one of the benefits of it.
COVID definitely had a big impact on that too. I think in a time in which social interaction was pretty much banned, we use that in place of it, and now it's feeded right back into the culture. Even though we can see each other in person, we got so used to seeing each other online and working online that it's definitely changed our culture one way or another. Whether or not it's good or bad, I'm not the authority on that, but there are pros and cons for sure.
Well, listen, it's still early in the week, and who knows what other people are going to have to say about it. I really can't wait.
Record your answer using the links below, and make sure to subscribe, follow, or register to get new questions and announcements right into your daily feed.
Thank you, everyone who's watched, voted, and recorded so far this week. Remember, the top voted answers make it on the air for our Thursday Big Show.
And if you appreciate the insights that you can only get from QOTD, you can send us a little love by liking, sharing, commenting, or even clicking thanks on YouTube. We'll give you a shout out on the air.
Plug in the socials, guys. Let's go. We are QOTD MV on the air, and we'll see you on TV.